Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to your weekly messages from May 22nd to the 28th. Let's see, where do I want to get started? I have primarily Oracle decks out today, so we'll see where this takes us. Okay, and in all honesty, I don't really like the Miracles Now deck. I'm not big on it, but I kind of felt like it had something to share today, so I picked it up anyway. Hello, hello. Thank you for hopping on. I know that people are still hopping on. And also, I have a big project that I am undertaking right now, so I hope to announce that in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. That's really exciting. Okay, first thing with Miracles Now, we have, I release my need to be perfect, and I center into my commitment to serve the world more love. Okay, so essentially that is speaking to self-acceptance, self-love, self-care, which is how you can start to share it, but you have to lead with yourself. So self-acceptance kind of is contagious, the way I like to see it. So that's a good one to have today. Okay, and also one of the things that I have run into quite a bit is when you demand perfection from yourself, sometimes it can actually push other people away. So the way it might be perceived is, well, if you're demanding perfection from yourself, then are you going to demand perfection from me? Is that something that I am going to have to live up to, or am I allowed to be a human being as well? Okay, then we have confirmation. Expect answers this week. Something's coming up here where it's like you have confirmation of something. There's something going on that you can look forward to, that you have on your side. So just be patient this week. That should be coming through. And then we also have Chakra Love. This is speaking to more of the energetic component, the energetic aspect, I would say. So if there's something that you're doing or not doing to make you feel better, then it's time to do some energetic work, whatever that is. Maybe there's a specific practitioner you like working with. Maybe there is some grounding that you want to do, or a meditation that you want to try. It can be really basic. It doesn't have to be anything major. You don't have to spend any money on it. Even like you can, I'm sure, find up some tones on YouTube and like clear your space. Okay. And then I have an affirmation card. What's coming through? Inspiration. There is a voice of inspiration within me. Right now it's only a whisper, but the more I listen, the louder it will get. Soon it will be a flawless speech voiced by James Earl Jones through a megaphone with lots of applause. Okay, so paying attention to your inner cheerleader, I would say, is going to benefit you this week. And then I'll pull a relationship card as well. This is from the Affirmators, Love and Relationships. So let's see. Celebration. When I come across people in happy, healthy relationships, I give jealousy the finger and celebrate their joy. When I do so, I'm rooting for the good guys, which means that I'm a good guy. And that means all of us win who wants to celebrate. Okay, so with this, it's kind of speaking to two areas. I'm getting that this is not just for, like if you're single and you might be silently resenting people who are in relationships, which I totally get. I totally get that. But aside from that, it's also about really honoring the people who come into your space who are healthy partners or have the potential to be healthy partners, because all that does is remind you that they exist. They're they're out there. Or maybe it's your own partner that you're showing gratitude for, or the fact that they are healthy and they do grow and work on themselves and everything like that. Okay. Hello to everybody who's hopping on. Hello, hello. I have Paulina, Cassidy. I'm still trying to decide what I want to do. I don't even know. We'll do a pyramid, but I'm being lazy today. Oh, and this reading is good for all signs. It's not sign specific, so I know that I get that in the comments sometimes. And I also want to ask you guys, if you watch the monthly videos that I put out, really quickly, I am just wondering, would you guys like it if I did monthly readings that are more of like the random layout, or do you guys like spreads when I structure them and give them strong intention, or would you want something that's more free-flowed? I just want to know. You can drop a comment and let me know if that's something you like, because I do that on the weeklies sometimes where I just start throwing cards down. So let me know if you like that style or if you like it structured. Okay. Let's see what's coming up first. You have the Seven of Swords. So what are you walking away from, right? Is it negative thought forms? Is it, a person? Is it a situation? Is there something? This looks like you're pulling your energy away from something. So focus on what is a vacuum and what are you pulling your energy away from. Maybe it's some form of anxiety, or again, specific people, a group of people, some type of groupthink you're not a fan of. So that's the main energy, is a focus on pulling it back from wherever there's a void or a vacuum. Okay. And then we have the Queen of Wands. This has a strong, I don't know if you can see that, where she's like sprinkling, some love, if you will, on the little plant. But ultimately, this is a sign of self-care. So also in pulling your energy away from the situations that are vacuous or vampiric or whatever, you're also wanting to give back to yourself. So make sure that you're doubling down on self-care, that you are really, really paying attention to how you nourish yourself, what you give yourself, what you want. Just really focus on that and pay attention. Also, the thing that's coming up here is like contrary action. My friend and I talk about this. But it's like, okay, if you're feeling a certain way, what actions are you taking to either mitigate that or resolve that? So it's also about taking action this week. Okay, and then we have the King of Swords. Pursue your ideas. Big time. Like, it's okay to move forward with ideas and plans that you may not have thought possible, or that you're scared to do, or that I feel like I'm talking to myself right now. But if there's something that you want, if you think it's crazy, take a risk anyway. It doesn't mean you have to sell your house, right? You don't have to take gargantuan risks. But this is about incremental risk taking. That's ultimately what this is about. So King of Swords is really good at taking risks, following his mind, following his ideas, and that is what you are able to embody as well. Okay, and then we also have the Three of Swords. I'm going to clarify this one. Not everyone's grief looks the same. Okay, so the Three of Swords is a grief card, but I kind of want to get some more context around it. Feelings and form. So this is also, it's funny. It's kind of like, what part of reality is this coming from? Is it real? Is it worth the amount of energy that you're giving? Is it worth what effort and energy you're pouring into the thing that you're either letting go of or that you're releasing. Maybe it's like a project, or maybe you were hoping that an ex would come back or something to that effect. And so it's kind of like when you let go of that, there's a grief period, even if it's already dead and gone, even if you've just been holding on to the idea. We are in Gemini season, so because of that, a lot of this is going to be conceptual. It's very heady, it's very cerebral. And so a lot of this, that's why feeling and form is coming up, because it may not be what it appears on the surface, and it may not be cut and dry or circumstantial, or I don't foresee this being something that's outright done to you or an oncoming event. And this is more of the in your mind is where all of the pieces are falling together. Okay, and thank you for all of the feedback. I'm sorry I didn't address that earlier about what I should do with the spreads and everything. Thank you. I appreciate your input. Okay, and then we have the Five of Wands. Oh, sorry, I should show you. See, I'm one of those people, I like the Five of Wands, but I like conflict. So that's just a personal insight or personal opinion, is that conflict creates, the rough edges when what does she say? One of my friends, she talks about when they rub together enough, it creates a smooth effect. Like the outcome is much smoother than what you were working with to begin with. And that's really what conflict is it's a way for you to problem solve. And I encourage people to do that all the time. Conflict isn't bad. It's the meat and potatoes of getting things done. And so if you can figure out a way, I know so many people are anti-confrontational, but if you can find a way to dive right into it, if you can figure out a way to pursue conflict as a means to problem solving rather than be combative, it will change your life. It will completely change the way you view approaching others, or when people approach you and need to talk to you about something serious. And so that is ultimately what the Five of Wands can do. It's just about mindset, and it also matters if you're dealing with someone who's super, super toxic, because then it gets more complicated. Okay, and then finally we have the Six of Coins. What are you giving? Okay, reciprocity. What is the give and take in the relationships that you have around you? What's going on there? Because this is about leading with value. If you act stingy, you're not going to get very much because you're acting out of scarcity. And then if you're leading with gratitude and giving. Now, if you're, kind of a bleeding heart, that sometimes we need to reel it in a little bit, but just pay attention to what do you want to receive more of, and make sure you're leading with that in some way, shape, or form, or thinking about how you can be intentional with your energy this week rather than being, energetically lazy, right? So if you're just giving everyone your energy until you're bleeding yourself dry, sorry if you can hear the voicemail, but that's not good, right? We don't want to do that. We want to give back to ourselves. But in the same breath, if there's something that you feel like you're holding on really tightly to, then you might want to take a moment to just let that go and see what happens when you lead with generosity. So it depends which side of the spectrum you're on, but ultimately it's about boundaries around give and take and reciprocity and what you're receiving. So just make sure that you are really paying close attention to what you're giving, what you're receiving, and all of that good stuff. So let's see. I'll do a 3-card pick to wrap up as usual, but I hope that all makes sense. Okay. I feel like I haven't used this deck in forever. Okay, so you guys know the drill. You can pick a card, you cannot pick a card. You can wait till I flip them over. You can pick one before I flip them over. Ask a question, don't ask a question. Okay, card number 1, we have spiritual suffering. So this is about release. That is the one word that is coming up. You also had Chakra Love come up. I am getting the sense that you might want to work with somebody on this, whether it be a friend, a practitioner, a therapist, somebody that you really trust and connect with, so that you can find a means of kind of opening up that valve and releasing whatever needs to be purged, just for your own sense of, security, sanity, what have you. So it's just about kind of, letting these guys out of the jar. That's ultimately what it's about. So just open it up, let it go. It's easier said than done, but I think that if you work with somebody on that, it can be helpful for you this week. Okay, and then card number 2, we have communication. Communicate, 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 communicate. What are you not saying? What have you been wanting to talk about that you may have been holding in, that you're withholding, that you are not talking about? Those are the sore spots that you need to address so that you can make the most out of this week, out of the energies that we have around. And it seems like a lot of resolution will come from communication. It doesn't mean there's not going to be any conflict. I want to make that clear. But we already talked about conflict and why it matters. So just talk about it. If you open up the conversation, then you're going to get closer to a place of resolution, understanding, and all of that. Okay, and then finally, card number 3, we have loudspeaker. This is also about communication. So this is about honoring your truth, speaking your truth, saying what it is that you are here to do. So the more you speak, and this is more about on a large scale. If you chose this card, this is more interpersonal. So this is about what's going on with you, like one-on-one relationships. This is about 2 groups, a large group of people. Honoring your beliefs, really sticking to your word and what you have to say and your belief systems. And that is going to really make it clear who is on your team, like who is the right people for you, because they're going to be on board with whatever your belief systems. It doesn't mean they'll agree, but they'll respect you. And so the more that you communicate that, the easier it's going to be to find your tribe, so to speak. Okay, so that is all that I have for you this week. Thank you so much for joining me. And yes, I do. I love that too. Honor your beliefs. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I appreciate every single one of you, and I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.